find yourself sitting like this a lot. Your back's really curved, your shoulders are up around your ears, and your head's cranking up. I'm going to give you a few tips on how to sit properly when you're working at a desk all day so that you don't cause too much pain on your lower back, set off some sciatica, and give yourself a headache. So step one, we always start with the feet. We want to have our feet planted firmly on the floor, and we're trying to create a 90-degree angle at the back of our knees. Coming up to our hips, we're going to arch our back one way, so we're really creating a big dip here, and then we're going to curve it the other way. And we're just going to do a few tilts until we find a nice neutral position where our hips are level, so they're facing forward, so we're not slouching down or lifting. Trying to create a nice flat back through at the spine. And then we're going to lift up through the spine. So trying to imagine that you're trying to make your spine as long as possible. So you're sitting really tall. And then we're going to take our shoulders and we're rolling them back and down away from our ears. And then we're imagining placing our chin on a shelf so it's parallel to the floor. And there's a piece of string on the top of our heads pulling us up, lengthening through the spine. So this means that ideally your computer screen should be about eye level. So you want the top of your eyes to be at the top level of your screen. This saves you looking down or looking up, so you're not putting too much strain on your neck. And this position also means when you start to use the mouse, so if I go forward a little bit, or the keyboard, I'm still able to sit nice and tall. So that's the kind of ideal position for sitting. How does this translate into standing? So when it comes to your standing posture, we always start with the feet and we work our way up. So this is a Pilates thing, and the reason for it is everything comes from your feet. If your feet are slightly off, it sets everything off. So let's begin. Start by just taking our feet hip width apart, and we're trying to balance our weight equally between both sides so you're not shifting onto one or the other. And then we're going to soften our knees just slightly because this helps us when we come up to the pelvic area to find that neutral position. And then we're just coming up to the pelvic area, so I'll just turn to the side to demonstrate. So I've placed my hands on my hips and we're going to just do some pelvic tilts. So I'm going to go arching my back one way, really tilting and squeezing my pelvis the other. And I'm going to just keep doing this, making the movement a little bit smaller and smaller, until I find that neutral point where my hips are level, so they're not tipping forward or back, but the hip bones are facing forward and they're level. And from here, I'm going to then just stack my rib cage over my hip bones, so it's almost like I'm trying to create a straight line from the bottom of my ribs down to my hips, but I'm not crunching down or tilting, because you see how that creates a little bit more of a dip, which is not what we're trying to do here. We're still trying to stand nice and tall. And then bringing the shoulders up, back, and down away from your ears. And then we're going to imagine resting our chin on the shelf so we're parallel to the floor, and there's a piece of string on the top of our heads pulling us up, lengthening through the spine. And that is the perfect Pilates posture because it helps to put you into the correct alignment so that when you're doing any exercises, you're working everything in its optimum position, as opposed to if I was to stand like this, all my muscles aren't engaged, I'm not doing anything correctly. But if I stand correctly and then lift my arm, all the muscles in my shoulder are working as they should. And that's why in Pilates we talk about the alignment to help reduce the chances of muscle imbalances or experiencing pain from standing with a massive arch in your back, which I do personally, so I've worked really hard to try and help correct that, or from letting your shoulders round forward. And if you would like to put this into practice, I do teach online Pilates classes. All the details are in the description, but the idea is it's designed specifically for people who work at a desk all day, who are trying to correct their posture, and who are just trying to have less pain, because like we've all experienced that aching back and the aching shoulders, the tension headaches, and just trying to generally feel a bit better. The classes are only 20 minutes long, so it is designed also to fit around a busy schedule so that you're not having extra pressure put on yourself, but you're also managing to calm and have a little bit of relaxation and just a little bit of time for you. But thank you so much for joining me, and please subscribe if you haven't already, because it helps me to keep creating content like this where I'm giving you advice on posture, alignment, Pilates and core engagement.